Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi, and if you're new here, this is a podcast where Kevin and I talk about anything and everything random, whatever we want to talk about, and occasionally bring our friends on to join us. This week we have no friends though, so no one's joining us this week. It's just us. So,
This week we have no friends. We're all alone in our two separate rooms, several hundred miles
lonely.
apart,
Yeah,
just talking to our computers. Yes, we have no
yeah.
friends.
That's okay though, because I
Uh,
think this episode will be fun
yeah,
and interesting.
I think
Maybe.
so.
If it's not interesting, tell us what to talk about then.
Yeah, yeah, because we'll talk about it. But before
Mhm.
we get into it, Nick, how was your week?
It was good. I don't think I did anything, just worked this week.
Yeah, me too. I did.
Hmm.
I was sore all week. You know when you like last weekend I did a bunch of reorganizing of my apartment. And
Hmm.
you know how when you do I don't do manual labor. I have a desk job. I have two desk jobs. I don't do
Yeah, I did
manual
too.
labor.
Hmm.
So anytime I do manual labor, I get somewhat sore
Hmm.
because I don't do manual labor.
Especially if it's a lot of like bending over. I always pull something in my back and I'm like, I'm literally doing the bare minimum right now and I'm hurt.
So there's probably been a couple pictures posted on here that you guys have seen in our like mainly in like our like images for like our main page or like when you see the like thumbnail or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
but Nick, you used to come over here to do the podcast. So one of the things that I
Hmm.
did when I was reorganizing is I moved um, some like CDs and stuff out of a cabinet that I used to have, and I threw that cabinet away. So that
Hmm.
cabinet weighed about 100 pounds. So I had to drag that to the dumpster from my apartment. The other
Hmm.
thing that I did is that massive entertainment center that was in my living room, it's
Yeah.
gone. I drug that all
Oh,
the way by myself to the dumpster as well.
man.
So
That
that's
was a heavy thing.
yes. So yeah. So I was sore for a good few days this week after doing
Yeah.
that. Um, it was yeah, that was a pain in the butt.
Yeah, that's a lot. When
Yeah.
you said manual labor, I thought of like folding towels.
No. That's not what I'm talking about when I talk labor.
Because that's what I consider manual labor.
No, I fold towels every week.
You know what? If my true actual manual labor husband listened to this, he would like freak out.
No, I moved out. I took out my old entertainment center and moved it to the dumpster.
Mm,
I took out another cabinet that and moved it to the dumpster, and I hung my television on the wall. So
mm,
I by myself, which was
nice.
another task. So
I haven't even folded the towels. They've been sitting in my hamper for 7 days.
oh man, but yeah, so it was a fun week, but I didn't do anything. It was yeah, it's just another week, and I didn't have any shout outs for this week. I don't know if you had anything that we needed to
Nope.
do, or are we just gonna skip right into it this week?
Well, Nick liked one of our reels. Thanks, Nick. But
Fun.
that's about it. I don't think there was anything else.
Okay, then I think we should just dive right in.
Yeah. Oh,
Anyway,
yeah. Funny.
we're yeah. Look at me. We're talking about sharks this week. Specifically, we're talking about Discovery Channel's Shark Week, um, which
Yes.
is I don't know when that happens. I feel like it's coming up or it just happened.
It is. I looked it up. It's going to be on Discovery, but also Max, HBO Max.
Yeah.
And it starts on this Sunday,
Oh, it's
July 20th. So
okay.
when
So
this
it's
episode comes out,
wait, July
right?
20th? No, this
Oh no,
episode will come out on the.
it'll be next
Okay.
week. So this is coming out and then it's the week after.
Okay.
And
Hey,
then
look at
it's
us. We're
gonna
being timely on accident.
yeah. And then it goes for almost a week. It ends the Saturday. that
Yeah.
next Saturday. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Um.
Mhm.
So Nick,
Mhm.
I I don't know how much you looked into it. How much you looked into Shark Week because you told me
I
to
watch
look.
clips, and I've never seen an actual Shark Week, but I've seen videos.
I've watched a little bit of it. I've never really watched that much. I never really got into it that much. Um, but I don't know how much you read into it.
Mhm.
Because I looked into like the history of it and a little bit about why it's popular. Did you look
Okay.
into any of like how it started or anything like that?
Not how it started. I looked at more of like conservation and how it's impacted
Okay.
like
So,
IRL, like real life
do you know
things.
how long it's been around? Because I did not realize that it's been around
Mm-mm.
as long as it has.
No, I have no idea.
So it started in 1988.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't realize it had been around longer than I
I just thought in my
have.
head, were TVs around back then?
Yes,
TVs were
TVs
definitely
were
around back then.
were TVs around. Were
Yeah,
TVs
that
around
was a
in
dumb
the
thought.
80s? Um, I don't know,
Yeah.
Nick. Were TVs around in the 80s? I'm not really sure.
Okay, you know what? You know how people say like there are no dumb questions? I know that that was a dumb question, but it did pop in my head. So, were they color or was it black and white?
No, they were definitely color in the 80s.
When did color TV happen?
Uh, well, I mean, your first color movies were in like The Wizard of Oz was color and it came out in 1939.
Oh wow. Okay,
So,
that was way off of what I was thinking.
but I don't know that like color TV in the home probably didn't happen until like the 60s, 60s,
Mm,
70s.
okay,
Cuz like,
interesting.
a lot of the television shows like Gilligan's Island and stuff, they're like half color, half black and
Hmm.
white. The early seasons were black and white, the late seasons are color. So, it just kind of depends. I think movies went
Did the Andy
color.
Griffith Show do that? I feel like
I don't know if the Andy
I don't
Griffith
know.
show I don't remember if the Andy Griffith show was. I feel like it might have been the same way. Yeah, color part and black and white. I remember there
Let's
was
see.
part of it that was.
Oh yeah, the first 5 seasons were, and then the final 3 seasons were color.
Yeah.
I was
So
gonna say I feel like, and that was the 60s.
yeah. So
Oh, that's one of my favorite shows.
yeah. Well,
Anyways,
your
that was a tangent
your
because
dog's named
I'm
after Ron
into that.
Howard.
But
So
yeah.
and Opie. So
Mhm.
but anyway, yes. So this started in 1988, July of 1988. Um, it has it was originally started to kind of raise awareness about
Interesting.
misconceptions of sharks, which
Hmm.
at the time was like Jaws, kind of
Yeah.
making people afraid of sharks and everything else. It was kind of raised to raise awareness about sharks and show people that they're not actually as dangerous as and scary as
Hmm.
people think they are. It is broadcast in over 72 different countries.
Hmm.
Um,
That's a lot.
and yeah, it is the longest running cable television programming event in history.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense. I can't think of any other like big TV events. Shark Week would be what I would think of if you asked me to think of a TV event.
yeah, um, yeah,
Like that was like for a week.
yeah,
I mean, if you say TV event, I think of like Macy's parade, but like a week long thing, and the only thing I would think of is Shark Week. I don't know of anything else.
yeah. As far as like that long spanning, I mean, obviously the Macy's
Mm-hmm.
parade has been going on for 100 years or something like that.
Hot
But
minute.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
little bit of time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so there has been a couple of instances that Discovery's had, some backlash on. In the in 2010s, in the early 2010s, they started to get it started to kind of ramp up. I don't. It just kind of like took off. They started to have,
Mm-hmm.
but they started to also do more like dramatic shows and less
Yeah.
scientific. They started to kind of take into the account like trying to get more people based on
Like
just
the thrill.
the thrill,
Yeah.
um, and
And
that
that's
kind
like
of
what I've seen. When I watch clips,
yeah,
obviously because I watch clips on like social media, they're gonna not post the scientific stuff.
Yeah,
So that's
that
definitely what I've seen.
that angered a lot of people.
Hmm.
Their president in 2015 decided that, well, he made a vow to kind of cut some of that stuff out to kind of take it back to science.
Hmm.
Now there is another problem: is they talk about how they uh, want to, push conservation and
Hmm.
kind of push out the negativity of showing that sharks are not actually as dangerous as they are. But a study in
Hmm.
2022 found that 43% of their titles use negative connotations in their
Mm.
context, which is and 74% of the shows portray
Hmm.
some sort of shark bites or attacks or something like that. So they're not doing the best job of doing that if they're also showing that kind,
Yeah.
like,
I'm
if
sure it's a hard balance of like, how do you keep
I'm sure it is, because
people watching
it's
and
hard
still
to,
promote science?
yeah, because like
Yeah.
there's only so much science stuff you can do for 40 some odd
Hmm.
years. I mean, you're almost 40 years into this thing, and
Hmm.
you can only do so much to keep people excited and not show the scary, gory, like,
Yeah.
and not show that kind of stuff. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
Jaws is popular for a reason because it scares the crap out of people. Um,
Hmm.
and it's a giant shark that eats people. Like,
Hmm.
now that's not actually how sharks are. They don't actually do that,
They don't
but
track you
they don't
and track
track
you
you and eat. They
down.
don't track humans down and eat them. That's not how they uh, act. But
Hmm.
um, that's that's more interesting
Hmm.
than you know some of the shark stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And that's what I looked up is the interesting stuff like pop culture and then conservation. But yeah, I didn't know anything about how it started, what it's been. Because to be honest, I have never watched a Shark Week.
I don't
Not
think
my
I've ever
thing.
watched
Science,
one whole week or anything. I think I've
not my
seen like a
thing.
couple clips, but
Yeah.
I never really got that into it either.
Yeah. I love that we chose a topic that neither of us have actually seen, but it is interesting to learn about.
Yeah, like,
So obviously when like we think of pop culture sharks, you think Jaws. But there are also so many other,
Sharknado.
yeah, and like negative connotation, um, shark films, movies, cartoons, and even like, um, and like Finding Nemo, like that's a super negative film towards sharks. The only one is Shark Tale negative towards sharks? I don't remember. So,
I don't think I ever saw that
yeah.
one. So
There's so many Pirates of the Caribbean, Austin Powers, James Bond. I think there was even like a Batman movie that it's all so negative.
hmm
Like as far as the shark is
yeah,
like a villain, there's so many. Um,
I mean, I think
Even
they
like
tried to.
Madagascar. But the other one that a lot of people think of and that caused a lot of controversy, kind of like, similar feelings to the Shark Week where they're like, this is not promoting anything good, this is not helping anything, was that Megalodon movie, The
hmm
Meg.
Yeah,
Similar controversies to Shark Week in general and Jaws as well is like, what is this actually doing? It's just promoting fear, but it's a thriller movie,
yeah, it's a
so
thriller.
yeah. But so conservation wise, there, most people agree that things like Shark Week, yes, they bring light to different charities and things and marine biology, and they spark interest for more people to go into the field and raise awareness. But is that awareness necessarily positive? That's
Yeah,
where they don't know for sure
and
because it is so fear-based.
and does it outweigh the other fear that it does cause for people? And
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. Um, so there are charities that obviously work with, Shark Week, and they promote research and research funding and everything for. There's different shark trusts for different countries. NOAA, which I don't know if they have shark funding or not right now, but they did a lot of research. One that was really interesting to me was it was O Search, but it's spelled like OCEARCH because they
Hmm.
have a shark tracker.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen this shark tracker before on like TikTok and stuff. So you can track sharks, you can track whales. They have some seals and things on there, turtles. There's lots of different things you can track on here. But they also, this organization specifically has a great white project, and so it focuses mostly on great whites. Like they will tag great whites, study their movement, their habitat use and habitat decline, how they, mate, what their nursery habits are, how they forage, how they sleep. They study the entire like lifetime
Mm-hmm.
of these sharks, or well, a good chunk of their life because
Yeah.
a lot of them live a long time. But they study that because there's so much overfishing, habitat loss, and there was something like finning, I can't remember, something
Yeah.
else, like damage caused by different commercial fisheries, pollution, whatever it is, and then climate change
Well,
also.
there's some cultures
Um,
the finning. There's some cultures that still believe that eating like shark fin soup and stuff can cure
mhm.
cancer and all this kind of stuff, which it has no. There's
Yeah,
no
no actual scientific bearing.
scientific.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
So.
those were like some of the biggest factors that they study, though, were like the overfishing and habitat loss in
Mm-hmm.
general. So they had, it was really cool to read through this. They have this map of like problem areas, and they list them as solved or unsolved. And the East Coast of the United States is listed as solved. Like they've done so much research over the past decade. They've solved a lot of issues with the population there. And then they have the west coast of Europe and Africa as the next area to solve issues there. I guess those are some like the biggest populations or something
Hmm.
because they have that listed as number two. And then the southernmost tip of Africa is number three to solve.
Hmm.
So that was really interesting to me that not only are they doing research, but they've actually, granted, I'm not a scientist, I'm literally just reading their website, but it seems like they've solved a lot of the
Yeah.
overfishing and habitat issues, at least on the east coast of the United States,
That's good.
the right side of the United States. Yeah. So that was really cool to also I sat here and looked at the shark and turtle tracker for quite a while.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's you know.
Some of them have really cute names. There's like right now Boots the turtle is just chilling near Maine. Like I also want to be chilling near Maine. What was another cute name? Gail the whale. They're just so cute. There's a
Oh man.
girl seal named Dr. Pendleton. Like it'd be
Okay.
so fun to be like a marine biologist and like name these
Yeah. That's okay.
animals. But I highly recommend looking at the O Search tracker. It's so cool. Yeah. This was
Okay.
interesting though. So even though I've never seen a Shark Week, and honestly, I probably will not watch,
Next
like
week.
actively watch
Yeah.
Shark Week besides just clips that I see. It was really interesting to, I mean, you know me, I love a good charitable cause that I know nothing about but want to learn about. So it was really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag save the sharks.
Save the sharks. I so as far as that goes,
Mm-hmm.
um speaking of saving the sharks,
Mm-hmm.
um there are there are more than 1,000 recorded species of sharks and rays in the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
40% of those are threatened with extinction,
Wow.
which is a lot.
That's a ton.
40% of all the sharks in the world threatened with extinction, which is and that's like you said due to overfishing and habitat loss
Hmm.
and things like that. So, um, yeah, I mean, if
And I
you're
mean, I can't imagine like having the ocean was like the perfect habitat for a really long time. Um, and if that's affected by like 1 degree, they said like a certain percentage of coral reefs and other things, like even like a degree
oh yeah,
change in temperature.
it doesn't
I
take
mean,
much.
yeah, it dramatically affects it, and that's scary.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is very
Hmm.
scary.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so if you want to support them, there are tons of ways you can do it. Um,
Mhm.
don't get scammed.
Yeah, don't get scammed. Use the charity rater website where it tells you if it's a real
Yeah,
charity and they're rating or not.
yeah. Or the Better Business Bureau, they have rater things on there
Hmm.
too that you can look for.
Yeah.
Um,
Please don't give your money
yeah,
to
some
someone
rando.
in
Yeah,
Russia that says they're studying
yeah.
sharks all
Please
by
don't do that.
themselves.
Yeah, just don't get scammed. There's a
Yeah.
lot of great charities that are doing great things, but there's also a lot
Hmm.
of scammers out there that don't that just want to steal your money. So,
Don't buy a
um,
shark on Facebook
no,
Marketplace. Don't buy a lot of things on Facebook Marketplace.
no, no, because it's not gonna end up well.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times not gonna end up well.
Don't
But
put a shark in your bathtub. You can't keep it alive.
no, no, you a lot of sharks actually can't stay alive in aquariums, like bigger sharks because they have to
Mm.
be able to roam. Some of the
Yeah.
smaller ones can obviously because they're small enough that
Hmm.
they can find a way enough room to swim around. But a lot of the
Hmm.
bigger ones can't survive because they're so much of like a nomad type animal that they can't survive in a
Yeah, that was
tank.
another thing that was interesting to me was when the OSearch organization was doing all the tagging and researching, how far they go.
Hmm. They go a long ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, sharks. Uh, it's amazing how much Jaws and even probably Shark Week some has made people afraid. Uh,
I mean, I
Jaws
would
made people
100% say
afraid.
I'm afraid of sharks if I go to the ocean, which is rare, but so that well, did you have anything else
No,
on Shark Week before we talk about
I was
irrational
trying to
fears? Okay.
transition into
I
this other
figured.
thing
I
that
figured.
was the whole point here.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk irrational fears because that sharks is definitely one of mine. Granted, I've been to the ocean, so I'm not as bad as like people who live in a landlocked state that have never been to the ocean and never plan to go,
Hmm.
but are still scared of sharks. Like I have been to the ocean, I've seen sharks in person, seen stingrays in person. So I feel like that's not that irrational to be scared of them, but I definitely did cry on my dad's shoulders as a teenager who should be fully capable of her emotions when a stingray barely grazed me in the stingray tours. So I'm definitely scared of stingrays, sharks, even fish, because I'm like, is this fish a poisonous fish? Is this a puffer fish? Is it gonna like, am I gonna get stung by a jellyfish? I just am very scared of the ocean, I think.
Hey,
I'm okay.
when we went in the Stingray City thing, I got back on the boat, so I don't blame you.
Hmm.
I didn't like it
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, it's a little freaky.
Hey,
So,
Steve Irwin got killed by a frickin' stingray, so you know what?
right? So I feel like it's,
I know that's not very common. That's even less common than getting killed by a shark, but
yeah, it's like rational, irrational. Like
yeah.
that one's kind of moderate. Now, you want to hear some of my fears that I know are irrational?
Yes, I do.
So, okay. The first one is this one isn't like too irrational, but kind of like, stingrays and sharks. It happens like I can't imagine this happens that often. A spider or snake crawling over me or in my mouth when I'm either in bed or on the toilet. That is a
Okay.
very irrational fear of mine. I know it's happened before, but
I think
it can't happen that often.
snakes is less common. Spiders is
Yeah.
probably happens, but
Spiders is probably more common.
snakes
So
is less
either one of
common.
those freak me out.
Yeah.
Like I will never sleep with a window open. I will never, not have the bug guy come out quarterly because we're gonna do that. So that was my first one. Not
Hmm.
like super. These get worse as they go. That one's not super irrational.
Okay.
But okay, the second one. A skinwalker in the window at night when it's dark and I look out the window when I'm doing dishes. I
Okay.
either won't do dishes at night
Okay.
or
You
the
have to
blinds and
close the
curtains,
blinds and
have to
curtains.
be drawn.
Okay.
Yep. Hmm. I am very scared of that. And I guess
You
it doesn't have to be just a skinwalker. It could be a ghost, it could be a person, it could be a rapist, whatever. I'm just scared of a face in the window at night.
so is that fear gonna get like skyrocketed when you move out to the middle of nowhere in a couple of months?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because like
We are
in the
going to have
suburbs,
blinds and curtains on every window.
it's a little bit, like it's less likely, and there's like other houses and a little light and things
Yeah,
it's not as big of a deal. When you're out in the middle of
yeah,
nowhere and there's your next door neighbor is like a quarter mile away, it's like even
yeah.
creepier.
Oh no, I fully expect living in the country is going to be a horror movie for me. 100%. But I'm in a marriage, and when you're in a
Uh,
marriage, you don't compromise, but you collaborate. So we collaborated on this idea to live in the country. I'm pretty sure I'm going to die. So I don't
uh,
know. We'll see how it goes, but that is one of my fears. Yeah.
oh, that's funny.
So, um, okay, so I told you this was going to get even more irrational. So
Yep.
if that wasn't irrational enough, a skinwalker in your window, this one for sure is even more irrational. So I am very scared of landmines and like booby traps. Like
Okay.
I'm scared that I'm going to walk into someone's house one day, or when I used to sell Girl Scout cookies and you have to like go to people's houses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm just scared they're gonna have like a booby trap. Like when I knock on their door, you get shot or something, or like there's a tripwire on the stairs, or I'm gonna be walking across the field and like a terrorist or something has put a landmine in the middle of the field. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
So
So
I think about this a lot when I
that
go places.
would be not as much of an irrational fear in some other countries, because that is like
Yeah.
landmines are actually a problem in a lot of countries,
Yeah, but not
but
here.
not here.
Theoretically. Like, and I know that. And I know when I go knock on my neighbor's door, it's not going to be tripwired. Most likely. The SWAT was
I
at
mean,
our neighbors the other day
I
for
mean,
about 4 hours, yelling at them to come out of the house,
yeah,
and
I mean, I
because he was armed and.
guess you never
But
know, but
yeah, but like, is that something that people normally think about
probably not. No,
as a woman in her 20s
no,
in
I
the
doubt it.
city? So that's why I think, but I feel like more people think about like ghosts and robbers and things like that than landmines. So that's why I
Probably
ranked landmines as my most irrational.
that's the most. That's the number one. That's the
Yeah.
last one.
So that's definitely my number one is
Okay.
landmines. Hmm. Yeah.
I think you've been watching or slash listening to too many true crime podcasts.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I I freaked out Casey the other day because we got a FedEx tag in the window because I guess I missed some package or
Yeah.
whatever because I was in a meeting. But the tag was like ripped in half through the information. It was super faded. There was like white powder all over it. I have no idea where it came from. It
That's
must
kind
have
of
been pollen or something.
random.
So
Okay.
I opened the door and like yes, I've seen a lot of Law and Order SVU. I've seen a lot of Criminal Minds. I was actively watching Criminal Minds at the time that I opened the door, like on my phone. But I picked up the tag and I looked at it and then I held it way far away from my face because I was like, oh my God, there's white powder on this. And I like put it on the in the sink in the kitchen sink,
Yeah.
and washed my hands immediately on the other side of the sink. Took a picture of it, sent it to Casey, and I was like, I think someone just drugged me. Like that was there's no context. The picture hadn't even sent through yet.
Didn't it
And
look
he
like a
was like,
FedEx tag?
what?
Like, wasn't it
Well, the picture hadn't sent yet to Casey, so he couldn't see what I had sent a picture of. All he got was a text that said, I think someone just drugged me. And he looked at my location and said, Are you home? Is anyone home with you? And I was like, No, look at the FedEx tag. And he's like, Oh, the picture just came through. He's like, I think you're fine. I think you need to stop watching
Yeah.
TV.
I think you need to stop listening to true
Yeah.
crime
I mean,
podcasts.
it had to have been pollen or I still don't know what it was on there, but like I definitely am paranoid about serial killers as well.
That's just.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about serial killers before, and women are generally the targets, so that is true.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I think it's what there was we were at I was at the bank the other day, and we were talking about this,
Hmm.
and uh the boss made a comment, something about anthrax,
Hmm.
and she made a comment about anthrax, and I don't remember what
Hmm.
it was, and um and I kind of went across the same thing. I'm like, boss, you're not gonna get, like, nobody's gonna that's not a thing anymore. Like, it's not like it hasn't happened, and that scare happened decades ago, and I'm like, everybody in
Yeah.
this room doesn't even know what you're talking about anymore. They don't even know what this happened. They don't know what happened. They don't know what anthrax is. And then I just
Yeah,
started going
I do
around the
because I watch Criminal
yeah,
Minds.
and then I just started going around the room, and I'm like, have any of you ever heard of this? And they're like, no idea. I'm like, exactly.
Hmm.
Like, it's like, it's
Hmm.
it's so, things change so
Yeah.
much and they go around so fast. But yeah, it's just, I think
Hmm.
the true crime podcasts, especially, and I don't know why. I don't know if this is a trope. Like, I don't know
Hmm.
if it's actually true, or if it's just something that is assumed to be true, or like a thing that's kind of assumed.
Hmm.
Is that it seems like more women listen to true crime podcasts.
Hmm.
I know that's the joke that always goes
Yeah.
around. Um,
Hmm.
and it's just, it's amazing how you like,
Yeah.
you get it
Well,
in
I
your
think
head that
part of
you're
it
gonna.
is self-education. Like oftentimes we are the
You're
targets
oftentimes the
by
victims.
men.
Yeah, you're
There have
oftentimes the
been
victims. Yes.
Yeah, there have been women serial killers, but there have been like three.
Yeah, there
How
haven't been that
many
many.
serial killers are active in America right now? Like 1,400 or whatever the
Yeah, it's
FBI
some
said.
crazy
I
number.
that could be I forgot what the actual number is. That was just a number, but it's a lot, and I guarantee like what, maybe 10 of those are women. Like come on.
Yeah.
So I think some of them are or some of it stems from like self-education. How would I have known? Let's say that FedEx tag, sorry, FedEx, don't sue me. This wasn't actually happening. But let's say that FedEx tag was drugged with, some type of hallucinogen or whatever powder that knocked me out. And I had just, unlocked the door and everything. And I always lock the door right away, right when I close it.
Yeah.
But like someone could still theoretically get into the house somehow. And let's say it was drugged because it's happened before, obviously, or else, I wouldn't have known about it. And something did happen, a crime did happen. Well, I wouldn't have known about it because I didn't watch Criminal Minds. So I don't know. I think some of it
But
is,
I guess the question is does it really matter if you knew about it or not, if it's happened? Like, yeah,
yeah,
you might have known about it, but if it happened to you anyway, did it really make a difference if you knew about it?
I don't know. But I think it's also psychology. I think a lot of women are interested in knowing why, how people think. I mean, I
Yeah.
know a lot of men are too. This is a generalization, obviously. Man, the last 10 minutes of this podcast have really been a lot of assumptions. But I think also in general, well, let's need to know why. And I feel like a lot of men, and I'll say a men in my life, so I'm not making too much of a generalization. I don't really care about the why, it's more the how. But I feel like a lot of women like the psychology and knowing how people's brains work, especially men. And so I don't know, there's probably other reasons, but that's like what I can think of. for
Hmm.
myself at least, of like why I listen to them, even though it makes me scared. I don't know. But I watch it 24/7, so.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess that's
Anyways, that was kind of a tangent, but I found a list on Reddit um, of other irrational fears, and
okay.
I love Reddit. I think
Reddit
Reddit's
is
funny.
I want to I don't know how many of these are actually true with Reddit, so there's
Mm-hmm.
that's the question is like I would say maybe this is like 50-50. 50% of them
Mm-hmm.
are actual fears and 50% of them are just people making jokes because it's Reddit. So
Yeah, yeah. But these are funny, and when you read through them, you're like, okay, that could be a thing,
yeah.
though. So this first one says, um, I'm scared that a bug is going to crawl into my hair dryer, and when I go to turn it on, it's going to shoot the bug and all its babies into my hair. Like,
Okay.
okay,
That's kind of
that
random.
could
I
happen, I
guess that's
think.
possible. I don't know.
Hmm.
I guess that's a possibility.
Yeah, this next person says, I am convinced that one day I will find a dead body and have to talk to the police for a very long time and have to go to court. So I've told myself that if I ever find a dead body, I'm going to ignore it.
I think that might make it worse for you, truthfully. You might just want to go. You might just want to go tell the police, and you know,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. This next one says, I watched a TV show that had slug people, and now I have dreams of slug people crawling in my ear.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. And then this next one says, I'm not a scuba diver, nor have I ever even been swimming, but I am very scared of underwater caves.
That's that I can understand. Like those
Hmm.
underwater. There's a
There's,
lot of people that die in underwater caves because they're extremely
yeah.
dangerous.
Hmm.
I can understand that because that's kind of terrifying.
But for
Like,
someone who's never even been swimming, I would consider that irrational if you've never been swimming nor have the desire to go to an underwater cave.
yeah,
So,
I mean, I get that, but
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I
But
get that, but I can also understand the fear of underwater caves.
I
Like
guess
that's
you could
kind of
have the fear of like someone kidnapping you and putting you in an underwater cave.
yeah.
That would make sense. I would also be scared of that. Hopefully, the FedEx guy doesn't do that to me.
FedEx, we're sorry. We apologize. We're not trying to be sued. We don't actually think the FedEx person, Nikki's FedEx person, is trying to
Mhm.
kidnap or hurt her.
Yes. Thank you for delivering all my packages very nicely. um, this next one says, I have this fear that every time I go to use the bathroom, I worry that I'm actually asleep or in a different reality. And in reality, I am like at work or in public using the bathroom. So every time I use the bathroom, I pinch myself.
So
That
you're
was very detailed.
afraid that you're
Like sleepwalking,
like
like sleep going to the
sleepwalking
bathroom in a
and
place
just
that's not the
like
bathroom.
in like on a park bench or something using the bathroom, I guess.
Hmm.
That's interesting. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I have a follow-up question is did this happen
Hmm.
to you one time? And that's why you're
Yeah, I
afraid?
know. Yeah, some of
Like
these I want to ask
did
that.
you actually like did you actually sleepwalk out into the street and just take a dump in the middle of the road like in the middle of the day
Yeah.
and you didn't
Like
realize it? Like
what
what
brought this
happened?
on?
Yeah.
And same thing for like this next one. Like this next one says, I am scared of butterflies. That's all it says is I am scared of butterflies. And I have so many questions. Like, did you watch a documentary and like you thought they looked creepy, or did a butterfly attack you when you were young? Like,
You know, here's the thing. I can understand that one too because I don't really like butterflies either. I just don't
yeah.
like. I'm not a big bug person in general.
Oh, I agree. And that's why I'm asking because they do look creepy up close, like when you look at their,
Yeah,
feet and everything or whatever they're called. But
like
I
they're
want to
just.
know why. Like this just says I'm scared of butterflies.
I just don't like butterflies.
So,
Like I just don't. They just kind of all flying insects. Just kind of all bugs. Just kind of not a big fan. Not a fan. Just not a fan.
hmm, yeah. And then,
Flying
I
just
mean,
makes
there's
them
so many on
worse.
this list. I'll end with this one because I have the same fear we already talked about. This one said, I'm terrified of looking out the windows at night and seeing a monster. So, yep, I feel that one. But I mean, there are so many on here that are so funny.
Looking out the window and seeing a monster, I think is a like I think that would be a common fear. Like
Mm-hmm.
looking out the window and seeing something that's not supposed to be there would be a common fear. I
Yeah.
think like
I
that's
think that's
not.
a common trope in horror movies too, which is
Yeah,
probably why that's ingrained in us, like people popping up in the window.
yeah. Because I mean,
So,
looking anywhere and seeing something that's not supposed to be there is gonna cause you some eerie like. It's gonna
yeah.
cause you some unnerve like be
Mm-hmm.
unnerved. Like it's just the way it is. So I don't
Yeah.
I don't know that that's necessarily un. It's irrational a little bit because it doesn't really happen. Like you don't. There's not
Mm-hmm.
really just monsters around, but
Mm-hmm.
I understand. Like so, but I kind of understand it too. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I
so,
did some thinking about moving out to the country.
we don't have to
It's
think
too late
about it.
now.
It's.
Our house
I was
is
gonna
almost
say
done. It's too late for regrets now.
you're gonna be moving, so like it's not.
Yeah.
You can't. There's really no thinking about it anymore. It's happening. Like it's
I know.
gonna.
I'll just have to make sure that I order blinds to be done before we move. And curtains. Yeah, because we have like the glass sliding door and everything. So like the long curtains, we're
Yeah.
gonna have everything is gonna be God, if I get any more paranoid, our house is gonna be boarded up at this point. Like I can't get any more paranoid.
Oh, okay. I think
Yeah.
it is time for facts.
Hmm.
Okay, Nick. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. Um, I actually have a couple. So
Hmm.
I found four different interesting facts.
Okay.
Okay? They're all about
Hopefully, I found two.
they're all
Hopefully, you
about
don't
sharks.
cover all my two.
They're all about sharks.
Hmm.
So, how about we'll do this? I have four. So I'll do one,
Hmm.
then you can do one, and then we'll just go back and forth. How about that?
Okay, that sounds good.
That way I can't give up all of yours at least if I do this. Okay. So
Yeah.
fact number one:
Hmm.
we talked about sharks not being that dangerous, right? Or sharks
Hmm.
not being as dangerous as people think.
Hmm.
Falling coconuts kill 30 times more people each year than sharks do.
That's a good one. I didn't know that. Are coconuts that heavy? Is it like a drop the anvil moment from the cartoon? Like, how do they kill people? Or is it like in a
Um, I
hurricane?
mean they're kind of heavy. Yeah, they can be. And I mean, if it's falling,
Huh.
you got to think a coconut tree can be like 30, 40 feet tall. So that's a
That's
good
true,
amount
and
of
it'll gain
that's a
momentum.
good amount of speed that thing's got coming down. So yeah, I can see
Mm,
where that could do some damage pretty quick.
yeah.
So
Okay, so note, get blinds. Don't have a beach
did
vacation
we
under
just
a coconut tree.
did we just add an irrational fear
Yes.
to the list?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I already don't like beach vacations over like mountain vacations,
Mm-hmm.
but that's another reason.
Okay. Noted.
Okay, so one of my facts. Not all sharks need to keep swimming to stay alive. Some species, like great whites, need constant movement to breathe, but others, like nurse sharks, can just chill on the ocean floor and they pump water over their gills.
Mm, I think I knew that. Because I know that like that's part of the reason that they have their mouths open. Like the ones that swim, they'll have their mouths open so that the water like
Oh,
flows through their mouth and through their gills, so that they can breathe that way. Um,
interesting.
but yeah, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so, fact number two:
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
great white shark can have more than 30,000 teeth in its lifetime.
Mm. How many teeth does it have at one time, though?
Oh,
What's a
I don't know.
shark's mouth full of?
I think like 100 or something like that.
You said a great white?
A great white,
How
yeah.
many teeth? Okay. 300.
300. Okay.
What's 30? I should know that. 100. So they go through 100 sets of teeth in their lifetime.
Yeah.
That'd be 30,000 total. That's crazy.
100 sets of teeth. And
Yeah.
because they're just, it says they're like on almost like a conveyor belt type thing. So if a shark
Mm.
loses a tooth, it can be replaced within a day.
Oh, interesting. Okay. They got backups.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Um, so fact number 2 for me is sharks don't sleep like humans do. They have active and restful periods, but they don't enter a deep sleep. But some species do sleep with one eye open, and half their brain stays alert.
Hmm.
Half of my brain is also alert. The other half is,
Dormant.
yeah. I couldn't even think of the word. Yep.
Oh, man. Okay. So I have two more facts. They're both to do with age. So,
Okay.
Greenland sharks can live to be over 400 years old.
Oh,
One of the oldest um, living creatures on Earth. Um,
wow.
and sharks, in general, as a species,
Hmm.
have been around for more than 450 million years. That actually makes them older than trees.
Oh, that's an odd one to think about. That was not me being sarcastic. I genuinely cannot like
Think of something
process
being
that.
older than a tree. Trees have not been around
Yeah,
as long as sharks have.
that's weird. What was the earth made with? Not trees?
Well, it was probably, I would say, probably mostly, well,
Like
450
desert,
million years
ocean,
ago was probably,
fossils,
well,
sharks?
it would have been mostly water if there was sharks. No, not desert. It would have been water.
Was the earth like all water at one point?
I don't have a clue.
This episode has truly opened up my mind.
No, I don't know
Um,
that it was ever all. Well, it might have been a lot water because you would have had volcanoes and things, but I don't know that it
mm.
was ever all water.
Oh, is this so I Google AI or whatever this is says the Earth was not entirely covered in water, but it may have resembled a water world with much larger oceans than exists today, around 3 to 4 billion years ago.
Hmm. Well, billions is a lot more than 450 million, but
Yeah.
so yeah.
Interesting. Oh, when the Earth first formed, it was a molten ball of magma with an
Hmm.
extremely hot atmosphere.
Yeah, so no trees in that.
Over time, it cooled. Comets and asteroids delivered water to Earth through impacts. I'm learning so much. Did I ever take a science class? Why do I not know things? I don't know
This is that.
anything.
This is that. This is that. This you saw the show. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? This is that whole concept
Oh,
of like
yeah.
when you don't use it every day, you kind of forget some of this crap. So,
Mm-hmm.
but when you are in fifth grade and you're learning it all, you know it, so you can answer the
Mm-hmm.
questions, and an adult
Yeah,
can't.
I was always really bad at that show. We would play along to that. My family would, like Sunday nights or whatever night it was on, we would watch it. And yeah, we weren't good at it. Even when I was in fifth grade.
Oh man.
I'm so smart.
I think that's it for this week, folks.
Yeah.
We hope you guys had fun with this, because we had fun. This is always that's all the only reason we do this, because we don't obviously there's not enough of you around watching this to make us any money doing this. So
Yeah.
we're just here to have some fun and chat. Um,
Hmm.
but if you had fun, give us a like, subscribe. If not, then don't. Or do just give us a like, subscribe, just to help us out. If you want us to talk about something, like she said at the beginning, let us know about it below, and we'll get to it sooner rather than later. So, yeah, we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye.